What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades, and today's feature blade is the newest model from Ganzo Firebird. What we've got here is the FH921. The FH921, and spoiler alert, it's hands down the best Ganzo Firebird FH model so far. There is so much good going on in this knife that I would be doing wrong to refer to it as good for Ganzo. This is a fantastic design overall, and hands down the best fit and finish I have seen out of Ganzo Firebird to date. Now, many of you will say, well, hold on, Baz on Blades. You seem to say every time you review a new Ganzo Firebird, the quality just keeps going up and up and up, and they get better and better and better, and every damn one of them is the best one you've ever seen. But I am going to point out some finite improvements in quality from the preceding FH series models that are the reasons that I am saying this is the finest product that I have seen from Ganzo Firebird to date. All right, it is part of the FH series. Those are machined G10 handles over stainless liners, D2 tool steel for your blade steel, single row steel bearings on your pivot. Those are standard, just standard builds for the FH standard features of the build in the FH series models. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to drop that knife out. We're going to take a very close look at the packaging because box lives matter. There you go. I do notice a difference from the last model that I reviewed, which was the FH61. We are now F3 knives. Now, I have reviewed, I don't even know how many Ganzo products. We've gone from Ganzo to Ganzo Firebird to Firebird, and now we're here at F3 knives. It's sort of an evolution of the Ganzo branding, but in the end, it's pretty much what you expect out of it. Let's go ahead and open the box here. This was a really tough box to open. I actually had to tear the box to get it open. But inside, you are going to find all your standard Ganzo stuff. We've got our microfiber pouch here, drawstring pouch. It is marked Ganzo Tools on one side. It does have the Firebird branding on the other side. The knife comes in bubble wrap, and there will be a little desiccant pouch down in there. And beyond that, it is just standard stuff. Let's take a quick look at the label on the other end of the box here. This is what we've got, the FH921-GY, which is this bluish gray G10 that they use. It is also available in black G10, orange G10, the green-blue G10 that they have. I have not seen the carbon fiber G10 laminate in this, and I do not think that we will, because this is a radially machined G10 handle, and that does not work with the laminates. And I do not think this knife would be as good in a totally flat scale. So let's knock out the numbers of this puppy. It is a sort of a standard medium large EDC size. You're looking at a 3.4 inch blade length. That's 8.5 centimeters. Your blade stock thickness is 137 thousandths of an inch, or 3.5 millimeters. Your blade width at the widest is 1.1 inches or 28 millimeters. Your handle length, 4.5 inches or 11.5 centimeters. Handle thickness, pretty standard, 529 thousandths of an inch or 13.5 millimeters. Your handle width at the widest point here at the pivot, 1.1 inches or 28 millimeters, pretty much mirroring your blade width. Closed width, pretty slim. You can see it's a pretty slim package right here. The widest in the closed width was 1.3 inches. That's up here at the pivot, including the flipper tab, and that is 33 millimeters. Overall length, 7 7/8 of an inch or 20 centimeters. Stop pin diameter, 120 thousandths of an inch or 3 millimeters. Behind the edge, and we're going to introduce a nickname for this knife model. It is the FH921. I am going to call it the Slice. The Slice, guys, is the nickname for the 921. Behind the edge thickness on this awesome flat grind is 14 thousandths of an inch, and I'm giving it a little bit there, guys. It's not quite 14 thousandths behind the edge. It's somewhere between 13.5 and 14 thousandths behind the edge. Very slicey behind the edge thickness. Your handle to blade ratio, an excellent 0.75, and your weight, 4 ounces or 114 grams. Let's go ahead and take a look here. You can see the show side of this stainless steel liner is weight relieved. The lock side is not. 4 ounces, 114 grams. All right. Material wise, D2 in your blade. D2, old school tool steel, very basic, semi-stainless. It has it does not quite qualify as stainless. It is fairly easy to take care of, although it will stain if you don't take a little care with it. I do not recommend D2 tool steel for those living on the coast in extremely humid areas or salty areas. But other than that, D2 is not the nightmare that plain old carbon steels are. D2, like I say, is high in carbon, pretty high in chromium. It is vanadium alloyed. What you typically get out of D2 is good to very good edge retention. It will take a razor edge. It will not hold that razor edge like the super steels will, but what it leaves behind is a very toothy, carbide packed, toothy, aggressive cutting edge that lasts a pretty good amount of time, guys. I like D2 as a working steel because once you take the razor edge off, it is still a toothy, aggressive cutter. Impact resistance, not really the forte of D2, especially if it's super thin behind the edge like this. I would not pry with this blade. I would not chop with it. D2 can be a little chippy when it gets extremely thin behind the edge. And of course, your corrosion resistance is decent. It is not stainless. It is semi-stainless. Take a little care with it. Clean the blade off after you use it. Use an anti-corrosion additive on it. I use Tough Glide. There's other products out there, but it's fairly easy to take care of. So, materials in the handle, again, machine G10 in the handle over stainless liners. Your small parts are all stainless. Your pocket clip is stainless, and your back spacer in matching G10 color is G10. So, materials very much in the wheelhouse, the standard materials for the Ganzo Firebird FH models. Now, we are going to get into what makes this FH921 the Slice. What makes it so special. One of those things is the fit and finish. And I'm going to bring another knife out here, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in the fit and finish. What I'm going to bring out here is my Bestech Swordfish. Now, the Bestech Swordfish is part of Bestech's D2 G10 budget line, but the Bestech models are very high up on the fit and finish department. And I'm going to tell you right now, this Ganzo Firebird FH921 is every bit as good as this Bestech. We are going to get up very close here, guys. You can see there is a little bit different of a difference in the way that the parts are machined. That's just a difference in the way they are machined, not a difference in the fit and finish. You can see that the way that things fit together here on the Ganzo is more like, let's bring another knife in here, more like the way Civivi does things. Look at the way that this fits together compared to this Civivi. Now this Civivi, this Insight, is a nearly $100 knife compared to a $25.99 Ganzo. The fit and finish between the two of these, they could literally, other than just some different sort of finishing decisions, the way the company do their final finishing, they could have come out of the same factory. It could have come out of the same factory as this Bestech Swordfish, guys. The fit and finish has been elevated on these FH models. Everything is fully polished now. You can look at the liners here. The liners are fully polished, guys. The inside of the liners is beautiful. They are fully polished. There's not any stamping marks. There's not any scratches or scuffs, guys. Everything is finished beautifully. The pocket clip polish is beautiful on it. Let's go up here into the blade as far as fit and finish goes. And look at the finish on this blade. The finish grinds on it. Okay? It is done very, very, very cleanly. The grinds are even. Both the primary grind, the secondary, the edge grind, the finishing of the flat on it, everything is extremely clean. The cleanest I have seen out of Ganzo Firebird so far. So far, this knife, as far as fit and finish, is better than any other Ganzo Firebird I have seen. Now, is it light years ahead? No, it is not light years ahead. When you get to this level of finishing, as far as a $25.99 knife goes, you are increasing the quality of the finishing in finite degrees. If you increase the quality finitely from one model to the next, that is something that all manufacturers, no matter what they are making, they strive for. They want to gradually increase the quality of their product as they go through the history of their company. And that is what we see here. Every time I get one of these knives, the grinds get cleaner and crisper and more even every time. That is a gradual and continuous improvement. The G10, the machining gets cleaner and crisper and more even and more consistent every time. This knife, as far as the fit and finish goes, is equal to any any product offered by any manufacturer at $100 and lower. That is absolutely the truth. That is absolutely the truth. I paid for this knife. Ganzo Firebird didn't send me a knife. They've never sent me any knives. I paid for this knife to add it to my personal collection and to do a review. And I'm going to order at least one more to use for gifts this Christmas. It is that well made. I cannot say enough about the fit and finish on this knife. For a Ganzo Firebird product, it is spectacular. It is spectacular. Compared to anything else on the market at 2 or 3 times the price, it is still spectacular. Okay? I shit you not on that. It is absolutely fantastic. Every aspect of the fit and finish is absolutely fantastic on this knife. I don't care what you personally think about Ganzo. No reasonable person could ding this knife in any way as far as fit and finish goes. So let's move on to the action, and this is where we continue in our growth with Firebird Ganzo. Previous to this knife, the best action I had seen on an FH model was the FH921. And then the next knife that was even better was the FH921, the little baby rhino. And it was a both of those were just excellent flippers with fantastic detents, fantastic geometry, and fantastic action. And guess what? This knife is even better. This knife is as good a flipper as you can get. The flipping action is on par with any other flipper that I have ever flipped in my life. It has a stout, perfectly dialed in, crisp detent. You absolutely cannot fail the opening on this knife. If you take it and you stand it straight up and then you just start putting pressure, I'm just gradually increasing pressure until I break that detent, you cannot fail it. You cannot fail it in any direction at all. It is as crisp a flipper as any other that I have ever failed. It has a forward raked flipper tab here that is jimped on the front. Excellent jimping there. When you have a forward raked flipper tab, it adds to the mechanical efficiency of that flipper tab. Its relationship to the center line of the pivot and the strong and crisp detent all combine together to make this hands down the best flipper I have seen come from Ganzo Firebird. You cannot fail the flipping action on this knife. Now, the lockup on this one, absolutely solid. No play in any direction. The lockup is liner lock early, and I have wanked on that. I have pulled on it and stressed it. I have not gotten that to fail in any way. It has no play in it, either lateral play or radial play, none. The centering on it is straight down the center, and I'm going to tell you right now, this knife is as it was straight out of the box. I have not touched the action on this knife. It came straight out of the box, drop shut smooth, with clean action. There is no grittiness in the pivot. It is the cleanest Ganzo Firebird product that I have gotten straight out of the box. It came out of the box properly lubricated. It was not dry. These knives tend to be dry. This one, both the bearings on the pivot and the detent were lubricated for smooth, just butter feeling action. As far as action goes, this knife is fantastic. Now, let's get into one of the features of this as it sort of pertains to action, and that is these plastic not shelved, but tiered, let's say tiered thumb studs. They are polymer. They are fiber reinforced plastic of some type, and they are removable. With them, you can open this any number of ways. Of course, you've got the flipper tab. You've got some thumb opening right here. You've got some spidey flick opening. All the opening techniques are easy to do, very crisp, very crisp. And we can come in here with a tool. It is a T6 screw. We are going to take this right out. What you see here is, this is basically, it is like a captive standoff like you would see in the back spacer of one of these knives. This part right here is also right here in this back spacer, and then you've got a screw that comes through on either side, two-sided. That allows them to use the same parts, so they don't have to machine out additional parts or create additional part designs and use the same hardware. One of the ways that a company like this saves money designing this type of feature into a product. So we're going to take that out of the way and move it aside and take a look at the knife now. This window is machined. It is tiered. You can see it is boxed there. So it will take that thumb stud in, and the thumb stud, even with just one mounting screw, it will not rotate in this hole because it seats down in there. It changes the look of the knife. I think it looks good either way, guys. I've got zero issues with that. I will probably carry it like this. And you can still, look at that. It shaved off some of my thumbnail there. You can still open right there. You can still spidey flick it. I can't say enough about the action on this knife. I know this review sounds like I'm just gushing over this stupid ass Ganzo knife, but good God, guys, I am telling you right now, this is not good for a Ganzo. It's not great for a Ganzo. It's not awesome for a Ganzo. This is just a good damn knife. It is a good damn knife. If Kershaw made this and sold it for $40, it would be awesome. If Best Tech made it and sold it for $52, it would be awesome. If Civivi made it and sold it for $50, it would be awesome. This is a fabulous design. So, let's go on to ergos and utility. The blade is extremely slicey. I mean, it's 14 thousandths behind the edge, actually a little thinner. Don't tell anybody. It's a little thinner than that. And it is a slicing monster. That edge is so good. It is so good. And while I'm thinking about it, look right down here where it terminates. You see that sharpening choil? Perfect. It is perfect, guys. It is forward enough to get totally out of the plunge. Awesome. Awesome. This knife will be a joy to resharpen. But as far as utilitarian use, I'm going to compare this to a knife I do not have with me, and that is one of the zero tolerance Hinderer models, and that is the slicer model. And the reason I'm making that comparison is because it has this same sort of rising primary grind. You can see this flat grind starts at the base here at the height of a saber grind, but aggressively rises going towards the center of the blade. I mean, it is a full grind before the center of the blade. And then you have got continuous, from that point, you've got continuous distilled taper to the point. This, in effect, it's more of an aesthetic thing. It mimics in action a full flat grind. It gives you the aesthetics of sort of a custom looking grind, just like on that, I think it's the 0562. Is that the zero tolerance model that is the slicer? Just like on that, and I've seen that grind, multiple different custom makers have used this super stylized rising flat grind. And it works, guys. It's a visually interesting, and it gives you the performance of a full flat grind. This blade is so well done. It is nice and pointy. It pierces instantly with little to no effort at all. It is just a slicey. I mean, I've got Prince out here, guys. Prince Paramilitary 2, one of the slicey knives on the market. Behind the edge, on average for a Paramilitary 2, is 19 thousandths. This edge is 14 thousandths behind the edge. It is extremely thin behind the edge and extremely slicey, extremely well done, period, compared to anything else that I have reviewed at any price point. I honestly, right off the top of my head, I cannot think of a knife that would be a better slicer than this knife. Even if you hate Ganzo, I'm telling you, hate aside, it's slicey, guys. It is super slicey. So as far as utilitarian use of the blade, very thin behind the edge, don't be prying with it, no impact, and super slicey. All right, handle-wise, a couple of great things here. Very wide open design, nice drop in the butt, nice finger choil area, big dish for your thumb, and the best jimping that I've seen on a Ganzo Firebird to date. Let's take a look at this. It's in the perfect place for a nice thumbs forward grip. It is nice and deep, crisply finished, but flat topped for comfort. This is what it's looking like on your thumb right there, guys. You can see the meat gets down in that jimping and it holds. The handle, radially finished, fantastic feel on it, the right width, the right thickness. It is comfortable in my large size hands. It is just super comfortable, guys. Super comfortable. And I'm quickly running out of time on this review because even in my long time reviews, there's just so much to say about this knife. So as far as ergos and utility go, excellent. There is only one thing I would personally change about this knife, and that's the pocket clip. I wish it had a deep carry pocket clip, although this pocket clip is much better than Ganzo's deep carry pocket clip that they have used on their FH models. That is one of the worst deep carry pocket clips. This one is nice and tight to the body, but it gives enough space for thick material. The tip gives you enough rise to get it over material, but it's comfortable in the hand. I can tell there's a pocket clip there, but it's not intrusive. I wish they had a world-class deep carry pocket clip design. Maybe they'll work on that in the future, but this one does give you knife to pinch a hold of to get it pulled out of your pocket. So for what it is, it's a great pocket clip. It's just not my favorite design. Sort of that Hinderer-esque sort of design that leaves some of the knife out of your pocket. Beyond that, guys, if you can't tell by now, I'm super duper recommending this. Super duper. Okay, super duper recommending. There's no bigger, higher level of recommendation for the FH921, the slice, as I'm going to call it. And for $25.99, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Get you one of these, guys. Get you one of these. FH921. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you. And we will talk to you again one more time on that flipping action. Oh, so crisp, so good. What a fantastic D10 and a fantastic new model from Ganzo Firebird.